Hello everybody, my name is Ruby. Today I'm going to show you guys 5 of my favorite Ableton tips that you might not have seen somewhere else. So starting off, let's say we're editing a MIDI clip, right? And this can be especially annoying if you're writing like a longer melody or a chord progression or something like that. And say you're doing stuff with your keyboard, right? And you want to hear it, but then you hit space and it starts all the way back there, right? So what you can do to get around that is you can click up here and it starts there, or what I do is you click anywhere in the timeline and ctrl space and it starts you from there. Or if you select notes and then ctrl space, it plays only those and then stops. So this is really useful, I think. And this works, this will play the whole timeline, not just the clips. Like, you see? So next up is pan modes. So we have a break here that has some stereo information in it, right? And we can play with that by right-clicking this, clicking select, split stereo pan mode. I think it might have been cut off by the recording, but that's what it says. And it takes the pan pot and switches it to 2 pan pots for the left and right channel. So you can put both on the right channel or both on the left channel, or you can invert them. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. That's really useful. I've personally come across some samples where, like, say the snare or something is panned to the left, and maybe that doesn't really work well in my mix, but I don't want to completely like destroy the stereo thing going on. So just using that to play with the width a little bit can be very helpful. So next up is utility modes. So coming back to this right here, this is a very wide sound. It has both mid and side information because of that huge reverb I got going on. So in utility, what you can do is you can right click this width knob and go to mid side mode. So now you have just the mids or just the sides. And this can be useful because you can create kind of a multi-band split type thing, but with mid side. I guess that would be called a mid side split. So you want to create 2 of these chains, call one mid, the other side, and then put them where they belong. And then you can put effects on just the mid. Say I want to keep that nice sounding reverb, but I want some more grit to the pluck itself. I can add something like a bit crusher to just the mid. We can hear this is still intact, but this is still all fucked up, you know? So that's something cool you can do. Now, let's show the full track so far. So kind of what my process is a lot of the time when I'm making bass music is I'll start with just a sub and then I'll build a bass around that. So one thing that I like to do is I like to take the sub and then distort the shit out of it and resample that. So I'm going to go through my process for that. These next 2 tips are relevant to that. So I'm going to use amp. I like amp as a distortion a lot. And then we're just going to fuck with it till it sounds nice, right? And then I like the state that it's in, so I'll create another and disable it and play with some more settings. So now, if we hit Control K, it might be Command K on macOS, I'm not entirely sure. You can go to Options and then Edit Key Map. Then you want to select the on-off button and bind it to a keyboard shortcut. You can pick any one you want. I use numpad 1. And you want to do that for both. And then leave the mode by either going up here and clicking that again or hitting Control K again. So now if you hit that key button, or if you hit that button that you assigned, it'll switch between the 2. So now we can listen and A/B the 2 and decide which one we like more. I like the first one a lot. So I'll just delete the right one, and then you want to Control K and delete this binding so you don't accidentally hit it again. So now we are going to resample this into an audio file and then get our original sub back. So we can take audio track, change external in to resampling, and that's basically going to take the entire output of the DAW and put it back into the recording. So anything on your master chain or anything in any groups will also get recorded. I want that because I want to record it hitting off my limiter and also getting sidechained for some extra ducking effect, you know. So I'm going to hit record, and then another thing you can do is you can play with some stuff. Like if you have knobs, you can turn them, or just use your mouse like I do, and then that'll print to the recording as well. So I'm actually going to grab another distortion, and we can play with this some more. How about overdrive? Okay, cool. So we're going to play with that while we're recording. Make sure it's armed, and we're just going to hit record. So that's something like that. Then we can remove these and just go back to our normal sub bass. And over here, we'll put a high pass just to keep it clean. And then we can distort it some more by compressing it. I think that sounds cool. And this is an audio track, so that saves CPU. But my point is you can resample anything you want, right? And just keep fucking with it more and more and more. And then later, if you're working on another song, maybe you can scroll through your project file and find this recording and be like, this sounds cool. Maybe I can chop it up. Or, you know, in the instance of this project file, say you're working on another. Oh, did I record the whole song? I did. That's even better. That actually sounds sick. I was wondering why it sounds so goofy. But that sounds sick either way. So, and that sound design is just, you know, happy accidents, stuff like that. So anyway, these are 5 tips that have helped me in Ableton, and hopefully you learned something. Have a good one.